Colossians 3 is the text that we want to look at. I want us to look at this chapter because I'm concerned about this matter of sanctification. This is the will of God. 1 Thessalonians says, even your sanctification. This is the will of God, even your sanctification. That is God's will for us between our justification and our glorification. From the time of your salvation to the time of your entrance into heaven, God's will for you is that you be sanctified.
As you can see, 1 Thessalonians, this is the will of God, even your sanctification. So let's read here. Sanctification literally means to set apart for special use or purpose. That is, to make holy or sacred. Therefore, sanctification refers to the state of or process of being set apart, made holy as a vessel full of the Holy Spirit. 1 Peter 1:16, you shall be holy, for I am holy. This is incredibly important. I think many Christians have forgotten about one of the cornerstones of the Christian walk, to become more and more holy. God says, you shall be holy, for I am holy. The world in general, I think, has totally forgotten about holiness and how incredibly wonderful becoming holy, more and more holy is.
But Paul shows us that the Holy Spirit, and therefore God Himself, has a very different perspective. We are not to ignore sin, we are to be killing sin. And to make life simple for everybody, there's only one lawful sexual act, and that is the sexual relationship between a man and a woman who are married. That's it. That's it. Immorality is the product of evil thoughts. You control your mind, and you control your sexual conduct. Sex in behavior is the result of sexually sinful thoughts.
This is very important. Look here. The phrase, as a man thinks, so is he, from Proverbs 23:7, suggests that a person's thoughts and beliefs shape their character and actions. It emphasizes the power of one's mindset in influencing their behavior and ultimately determining the kind of person they are going to become. This is incredibly important. Another problem is, as people think immoral things, watch more pornography, they start acting it out. They start cheating on their wife, their husband. They start cheating on their wife and husband with one lover, a second lover, a third lover, a fourth lover, and so they become more and more immoral. These things are not about someone suddenly becoming extremely lustful sinner in homosexuality or cheating on opposite sex with opposite sex people. It is about sliding down the path of degenerating your mind.
Sex in behavior is the result of sexually sinful thoughts. You control your mind, and you control your sexual conduct. And remember, now Paul is saying this to people essentially who had come to Christ in a pagan world, an utterly pagan world, in which all kinds of immorality were acceptable. Having concubines was acceptable. Having women for no other purpose than sexual fulfillment was fully acceptable. Pedophilia was acceptable. Homosexuality was acceptable. Relations before and outside of marriage with virtually anyone was acceptable in the ancient pagan world. There were temple prostitutes associated with false worship to accommodate these freedoms for immoral behavior. So Paul is saying something to the pagan world that is frankly stunning. The only acceptable sexual behavior at all is that between a man and a woman who are married. That's it. And if you don't want to fall into immorality, then you have to make sure you don't have impure thoughts, because if you cultivate impure thoughts, if you purposely put yourself in a position to expose yourself to the things that produce impure thoughts, you're playing with fire, obviously. So you go from immoral behavior back to what causes that, which is impure thinking.